On this episode of the Infowars News Blitz, Ron Paul says, why are we making things worse in Ukraine? The real unemployment numbers are released, and a rare goblin chart is found off the coast of Florida. That and a lot more, so stay tuned. Okay, folks, moving on to our first article today here. This article is written by, well, who else? Former Senator Ron Paul of Texas. And the article that he's written is called Ron Paul on Ukraine. Why are we making things worse? Well, I don't know. Maybe you're Soros. Maybe we could ask George Soros that question too. If we ever get our grubby little hands on that son of a gun. But anyway, the article says here, which is written by Ron Paul. I mean, I can hear his voice in these articles. Of course, it said in major media that Russia has started all of this trouble, and so all of this has to be done. The truth is, the coup of several weeks ago to overthrow the elected leader, Vankar Yokovich, was stirred up by the same group, NATO, EU, US, and the IMF. Since the whole mess was started, we've been very much involved, spending more than $5 billion to control Ukraine, and this intervention continues, but the current fighting looks like a serious escalation that may get out of control, even though it's in the interest of both sides. The West, as well as Russia, not to escalate. There has been a lot of threats and intimidation on sanctions and economic penalties, which very well could get out of control. I mean, and to be honest with you folks, Ron Paul is telling the truth here. I mean, and Alex Jones as well. I mean, the West, which is run by George Soros, basically started all of this, as Alex Jones said. I mean, basically, Ukraine didn't want to go with, the UK, because the Russians gave them $40 billion, and George Soros said, oh, you wanna go with the EU? Alright, fine, we'll just start a flash mob and just destroy everything, take the country over. They took over 90% of the country over, and when Russia starts putting troops into Crimea to protect their bases and their oil pipelines, they're all being blamed for all of this. Well, where the real truth is that they should be the one should be blamed for starting all of this mess. All Russia was doing was protecting their oil pipelines and their bases. I mean, if there was an overthrow government, if someone overthrew your government and you had bases in that area, wouldn't you do it? Yes, you would, but these people are just demonizing Russia just for the hell of it. Well, April numbers just came out, and they're saying that the economy is booming, and it's all great, and it's all fun, and it's all perfect. Unfortunately, for the most of us who aren't brain dead, that doesn't seem to be the case. The article, which is written by Mac Salvo, is called It's an Illusion. Here are the real unemployment numbers, and there's charts and everything else about it. Here. The article says that the Associated Press, who's reported on the new rate, has been disputed from news rate around the country, and saying that it's the strongest evidence to date that the economy is picking up. The site, numerous economic experts claim that the U.S. economy is not expecting bigger growth, which they say is confirmed that the economic health of our nation is bouncing back from the rough winter. In fact, the motion of bad winter and winter 8 times in a single article, just to make sure we understand that the problem we've seen the last few months were seasonal. But as generally the case with mainstream assets and government attention as of late, the devil's in the details. While the U.S. companies added some 288,000 jobs last month, 3 times as many people were dropped from the official unemployment statistic and no longer counted in the labor pool. At this rate, we're well on our way to achieving the communist dream of zero unemployment before the end of the presidential term. And there are a whole bunch of charts here and stuff, and technically, to be honest with you folks, the mainstream news have been caught lying through their teeth before. And I do mean it too. But to be honest with you, we're in a lot of trouble. I mean, unemployment is about 20-something%. I mean, 60 Minutes had to admit that. And the government and the people that believe that if it's at 0% or whatever, I mean, they really need to open their eyes and stop believing all this BS that the mainstream media is coming out and look at the real numbers. And I do, and as for me, as a person that's looking for a job, I mean, I can see it myself. So, ask me. Okay, folks, this is the last article of the day, and this is from the Business Insider in the science section of the site. This site, the article is named "Rare Goblin Shark Caught in Florida Has Never Been Seen in More Than a Decade." And it was written by Diana Spector. I've never heard of these things or seen these things before, but anyway. I'm looking at this picture here. It looks kind of ugly. But anyway, the article says here that on Wednesday a Florida fisherman accidentally pulled up an 18-foot goblin shark while he was going for shrimp. Nova Fisheries Service reported this is the only second ever goblin shark to be spotted in the Gulf of Mexico, according to the agency. The first goblin shark was sighted nearly 15 years ago when commercial fishers captured one in 2000. David Schifferman at the Southern Fried Science pointed out. After the most recent shark was captured off the Florida Keys, it was released and swam away, Nova said. The goblin shark is a deep water species, but not much known about it since its prehistoric looking creatures are merely caught. The sharks have presumably been reported in the western part of the Pacific, other coast of Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and whatever. To be honest with you folks, this is quite a turn of events. I mean, I have no idea this thing never existed. I mean, there's a whole bunch of sharks out there, and we're worried about Justin Bieber, Beyonce, the football game, basketball game, and all this other stuff that we all have to worry about. I mean, the world out there is about truth. It's very wondrous, it's very weird, and it's kind of cool. I mean, I had no idea there was such thing as a goblin shark. But to be honest with you folks, when I took a look at the picture up close of it, I mean, this thing just looked ugly. I mean, literally, look at this thing. All I can say is that I am pretty much happy that they let this thing go instead of killing it. I mean, it looks pretty weird to me, but hey. Well, that's all the articles I have for you today. If you'd like to read more about these articles, please go to the links below or go to Infowars.com. There you can read hundreds of articles just like this one and fill your brain with information. This is Infowars Blitz. I am Info Gundam, signing off. Bye-bye.